Now, you might remember us telling you about a herd of wild horses brought over from Holland to graze the countryside of the southeast. Well, they've proved so successful at maintaining our habitat that some of them are now heading off to pastures new. They call it the Garden of England for good reason. But landscape like this doesn't stay beautiful all by itself. It needs a little help. And sometimes that help needs to come from something with 4 legs, a wispy tail and a preference for sugar lumps. I'm talking about horses, wild ones to be exact, happy to graze their way through tons of grasses, reeds and scrubland every year. But there's more to these particular horses than just a healthy appetite. The wild horses of Kent have become legendary throughout the country and even helped a Dover estate just by moving in. To find out more, I've come to Wildwood near Canterbury, where the story of these wild horses really began. Back in 2002, Peter Smith from Wildwood and a team of conservationists were trying to solve the problem of managing Kent's nature reserves, and they found the answer in Holland.
They'd brought these horses in from Poland, and where they were still living wild and free, and they put them on some of their nature reserves, and what happened was fantastic. You take off some of the scrub and get the natural succession so that the rare butterflies, birds, insects and things like waterfalls and all this sort of stuff could live on our nature reserves. And the horses were doing that in Holland, so we raised some money, I raised some money, and we got the horses, we bought them and brought them into the country.
The horses are called conics, and in Holland there were hundreds of them roaming free. They are genetically the closest thing to the wild horses that roamed across England 7,000 years ago. The Dutch had been using them to graze their landscape for years. But for Peter and his team, it was a completely new way of working.
We went on a huge learning curve to stop becoming nature reserve wardens using chainsaws and tools to manage the nature reserve, and we've become cowboys.
The horses started off managing the wetland at Stodmarsh near Canterbury and Ham Fen near Sandwich. But over the past few years they've been used across the county. This horse is being moved to join a herd at Dover's Hospital Down. But moving wild horses can be tricky. Are we scaring her?
Yes, a little. Here she comes, here she comes. There she goes. Right. We'll chivvy her along. There she goes. Hey.
That was harder than I thought it would be.
Well, once she got going, it's okay.
Yeah, but it was horrible seeing her nervous.
Yeah, she was scared of...
So as our horse heads off to Dover, over in Sussex at Maxfield Nature Reserve near Hastings, owner Philip Newton has recently received his first herd of wild horses. Philip loves wetlands, so much so he converted his back garden, all 350 acres of it, into a wetland nature reserve.
About 15 years ago, this whole area that you can see was arable and it was all drained, and ironically I've reversed the process and now flooded it. As a friend of mine says, just add water and see what happens.
Philip heard about what the wild horses could do, and he couldn't wait to get them munching away on his land.
I'm excited about having them here because they create such a varied mosaic that creates the openings for various birds to breed. Small patches of short grass, areas untouched, so you create, as I said, this mosaic where different species of birds are actually able to find a suitable nesting habitat.
Philip has had the horses on his land for 5 weeks now, and they've already made a difference. And because the horses are proving so successful in Kent and Sussex, word has spread, and there's now a demand for them all over the UK.
I've got a huge list of other nature reserve managers across the country. You know, all the big names, RSPB, the Wildlife Trust, they all want to manage their nature reserves with the Connachts, and that's why we're starting to move them out of the county. So we've moved some to Sussex, and we're going to move some to Scotland and Hampshire, and slowly we want to repopulate the country with our original wild horses.
She's going to be quite keen to get out, I imagine.
Okie doke.
Over in Dover, our wild horse has just arrived to join the herd at Hospital Down.
Oh, walk on, come on, that's it. Oh, let's have a sniff round, feel safe. There's some complex movements with the horses, so they can all be together.
It's nice the other horses are coming to meet her.
Oh, there's a bit of, they've got to find where they are in the hierarchy.
So this is all quite normal and what you'd expect.
Yeah, this is the horses having a little chin wag to each other and saying hello and finding out where you are on the group structure. So
They look amazing.
They are.
Now, when Hospital Down in Dover was first suggested as a location for the wild horses, there was a little concern. After all, the Downland is sandwiched between two large housing estates in the town. But it turns out they needn't have worried.
We had a horrible incident right where we're standing now, where some naughty boys were throwing stones at the horses. But the nearby school, some of the lads from this nearby school came away and chased those lads away and protected the horses. And I think that shows people have adopted them. This is special to Dover, and Dover people have come to their rescue.
It's just like a picture postcard, isn't it? Horses out on the hills grazing, and it's just a good feel-good factor, isn't it?
It's beautiful to live here. You've got all this countryside and it's ever so quiet, and it's absolutely amazing to see them in your back garden. It's lovely.
My children enjoy having the horses around here. Every time they walk by the windows they jump around the kitchen, and we have to go and get our wellies on, don't we, and come out and feed them. They're always coming round. They're really welcome.
So the horse we released earlier will have some very friendly neighbours looking out for her. The wild horses that began grazing Kent's countryside 9 years ago have been such a success, they'll soon be chomping their way through scrubland all across the UK, helping wildlife to flourish the natural way.